Rivers have given birth to civilizations and sustained humanity through millennia. They have inspired myths and human ingenuity. But recently, they have become a growing concern as a potential source of conflict.
Chairman McCain, Ranking Member Reid,
In a
and
recent report to the
members
Senate
of the
Armed
committee,
Services Committee,
it's
U.S.
a great
Director of
pleasure and honor
Intelligence
for me to
James
be here
Clapper
with,
ranks
General Vince
shortages
Stewart,
in
and
fresh
he and I
water
are here
supply
today to update
as
you
one of
on
the main
some,
threats to
certainly
global
not
human
all,
security.
of the pressing intelligence.
Law professor Gabriel Eckstein says that trend has become more conspicuous in recent years.
The population is growing tremendously, and our economies are growing. We have many areas of the world where they are very interested in developing their economies, and you need water for virtually every aspect of society, every sector of economy, whether it's energy production, food production, manufacturing, you need water.
Eckstein has advised governments and organizations on trans-boundary water disputes. The solutions, he says, lie with the parties involved. He cites the example of the United States and Mexico.
There is a long history of cooperation between U.S. and Mexico. There's a Boundary Waters Commission that oversees the management of the trans-boundary waters. They have a mechanism where they can continuously create modifications to the treaty.
Such cooperation is important, he says, because the international rules for managing transboundary water resources are rather generic.
But that's because they have to apply universally, and conditions on the Mekong River or on the Rio Grande River or on the Jordan River are very, very different. And so we have sort of general rules that apply everywhere. But underneath those general rules, nations are expected to create more locally specific agreements within that international framework.
Such agreements are common, from agreements between China and India to manage the Brahmaputra River, to accords between Sudan, Egypt, and Ethiopia on the use of the Nile Basin, or Israel's desalination projects to reduce reliance on the Jordan River. Countries are finding legal, technical, and diplomatic ways to address disputes. In fact, says Eckstein, water has historically been more often a source of cooperation than it has a source of conflict.
This has been shown statistically in terms of the number of agreements and the number of cooperative arrangements that have been achieved over the generations, as compared to the number of incidents that have occurred, conflicts that have occurred as a result of disputes over transboundary waters.
On this World Water Day, while leaders contemplate ways to prevent conflicts and disputes that could arise over shared rivers and lakes, it's worth noting that the forces of nature that have sustained humanity since its creation carry with them thousands of years' worth of stories of cooperation and goodwill. Ardita Dunellari, VOA News, Washington.